This gal has shot more than 1,000 videos. Hey, it's Rachel. I help one-on-one coaches create engaging course videos and marketing content. I also teach creative business owners how to launch their side hustle. I sat down with my client, Meygan, from Marriage 365, who has shot more than 1,000 videos from live events, live social medias, hundreds of videos for her membership site, and she's dropping some fire tips for you. We're getting into how she gets comfortable on camera, getting her makeup done for video, and how she uses video and email to market her business. All right, let's jump in. Hey, what's up? I'm here with Meygan Caston from Marriage 365, and today we're going to talk about why she uses video in her business.
Okay, so we basically have a Netflix for your marriage, right? So we're a video-based company, and really why we started with video, because we could have done podcasts, we could have done books. That space is already actually taken. And there's not a lot of companies who are video-based companies, so we consider ourselves very innovative in that process. And I think too, I mean, even in the marriage space, like in our niche, which is marriage is a large niche, of course, a lot of people never got a healthy example. So there's something about hearing it on a podcast or reading it in a book, but if you're actually seeing like a husband and wife, like
talking about it,
interacting with each other, we have fought on camera, we have made up on camera. There's that visual that I think really sinks in. I think it takes learning to a different level because in my mind, a podcast and a book is very passive learning and it can be video too. But I think that's where, you know, for us, we add to our videos different like worksheets and things like that. But I can't imagine doing business without video because I think people want to see the real people behind the brand.
Absolutely.
And again, you can portray a certain version on a podcast, right? Or with a picture. Everything's filtered. Like, I mean, sure, the video, she makes us look better than we are. But at the same time, there are supposed to be oopses and flubs because that's real life, especially in my certain business and line of work, marriage.
And I think video has that capability of, it feels like we're sitting down at a table. Like if you're watching a video on your laptop or your phone or your TV, it feels like you're sitting down with those people. Like
in their living room or in their office.
Yes, like New Girl is one of my favorite shows. And I feel like Jess is one of my best friends. Because I see her in her day-to-day.
That's what I'm saying. I think there's a deeper connection when there's something about visually seeing it. And then I think, too, with video, I mean, she's helped us, like, add closed captioning, which is amazing for the hearing impaired, and, you know, different, like, graphics and pop-ups that just even make it look more exciting, too. So I love that. And then, of course, you can always have an audio-only version of a video, just a little hint there. So it's there for the people who are like, I don't want to watch something. You can repurpose the video. And so we have it where you can watch a video and you can listen to the audio only. So I think it kind of like kills two birds with one stone.
So true. And I know you guys use a lot of video, you know, you have your membership videos, you have your marketing videos, which are cut from that, and you also go live. So tell me the difference. On Instagram. Tell me the difference between why you go live versus use video in membership.
Yeah, so I think we view Instagram Lives and Facebook Lives as something to actually promote our business. So we don't give all the nuts and bolts, the secrets into what we do, right? We use it as a marketing tool. The thing to keep in mind, and I tell this to my staff constantly, is you're at the mercy of those businesses. So everyone remember MySpace? I know you're too young. Did you ever hear the story? You did? Okay. MySpace is gone, right? So everything that you had, if Facebook goes under, which Facebook has lost a significant amount of money and usership in the last couple of months, by the way, if those platforms change their algorithm, they say, oh, it's not going to be free anymore, you have to pay. I mean, we're at the mercy of them, Mark Zuckerberg, and what he wants. So I always feel like Instagram Lives are great practice. I kind of view it as like my practice. Just get yourself in front of the camera, practice. You can kind of, I use it as an opportunity to learn about my customer because I'm actually live with them. So I can
commenting.
They're commenting. I can see what they like, what they don't like, which actually helps guide me in what video content. Okay, well, if I'm going to spend money, hire someone, right, get my makeup done, get a new outfit for filming, I know that this is what my customer wants from me when I'm filming for video in my membership.
That totally makes sense. And I think that's also why people say, you know, you own your email list. So that's why email marketing is also important, not just having so many followers. It's like
that's why I think there's too much focus and time spent on social media. And let me tell you, 72% of our members found us on social media. So I don't want to downplay that it's not something to invest in. But again, it's always good to just keep in your mind you don't own those people. And that sounds weird, but like your email list, you don't own them. They're if they accidentally clicked unfollow, they might not even remember, and they don't see you for 5 months. That's why emails, texting, apps, membership, whatever you're doing is so important. And again, I think there's a legitimacy of a brand when there's really good videos too. I just think it's like proof in the pudding.
Totally. Yeah. Now, Meygan, ever since I've filmed with you, you don't get nervous. Your palms don't get sweaty. No. You're just ready to hop in front of the camera and look into the lens as if that is your target audience, Marriage Mary. And so if you were to talk to someone who wasn't comfortable on camera, what would how did you get comfortable? What would you tell them? Yeah,
so I did grow up being on stage. So did my husband. My husband's nickname is the Tony Robbins for marriage. But I will say he struggles with film way more, and I struggle more with like in live public speaking. Practice. It's hard to watch yourself on camera, but I'm going to tell you, put your camera, your iPhone or whatever. You could do it just between you and yourself. Or if you want, go crazy, go on social media, do a live. If you don't like it, delete it or stop it. But watch it back and go, oh, wow, I could have improved in that. Oh, I could tell I was nervous there. And I think the best piece of advice someone gave me about speaking on camera is if you know your content, you won't be as nervous. I mean, once you kind of get over that mental hurdle of like, okay, someone's watching me and it's like, wait, I know my stuff. I can come confidently. And so she's very familiar, but my husband and I, we practice our scripts, we pace, we voice it out loud. Oh, that didn't sound right. Would that land correctly? And then even sometimes when you're, on camera, you say something and you go, you know what, hold on. That's the best part about being on camera when it's not live, is you can say, can we start again? And she always says, absolutely, of course. So I think practicing,
so then actually,
listening
can
to
I
yourself.
Ask you, what is your process when you write a script? So like today's videos, she did gender, like the roles between a couple, stay-at-home
parent, full-time working. Like my husband and I are both full-time working, spouses and parents, right? How does that, it's like the dynamic.
The cons, the tips.
Yeah.
So what's your process to developing?
So I knew that this was an area that, again, looking in my market, that no one really talks about, which I think is odd because everybody has a dynamic they're in.
When you said that it wasn't since the 1960s that birth control was, I was like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, women have only been in the workplace because of things like breast pumps, birth control. Before then, you had no luxury to go to work, ladies. I mean, I think we don't think about it. We don't. We take it for granted. So first off, if there's not a lot of people talking about it. So I knew that was important to my customer, and she and he were asking for that. So that's number one. Oftentimes for me, I love to walk. And so I will kind of just think through, and I don't care if my neighbors think I'm talking to myself. I often walk at night, so they don't even know, but who cares? And I just kind of talk it out, like, what would that look like? And what are the dynamics? I start a Google Doc. That's where I personally write. And I start just kind of writing at I call it like a rough first draft.
And brain dumping.
When you're brainstorming, there are no bad ideas. And if you don't think you'll use it, don't delete it. Put it in, we call it like the bones pile. At the bottom, do a big bold line at the bottom of your Google Doc and call it the bones pile, because you never know. If you said something, you might not use it for video 1, but you might use it for video 23. And for a company who has over, I think, 300 videos at this point in our membership, we have gone back and used so much information. And so then I start writing, and then I kind of voice it out. And then I really look at the customer, because I might think it sounds great, but again, that's when I will jump on like an Instagram Live and say, okay, so this is what I'm working on. What are your guys' struggles? Because you're trying to solve and fix a problem usually, right? Or trying to help someone better something. Don't just assume that the direction you're going is accurate. Check in with your customer.
So do research before you're recording.
I always do research. And I look, I didn't know that birth control wasn't around until 1960. Like I thought it was earlier in the 1900s. And I was like, oh, that makes sense, right? Just did some research and how the dynamics of parents working and women coming to the workplace have changed. And then I practice. And then that first rough draft usually goes to a second draft and a third. I cut out. Oftentimes I'll time myself. I say it in front of a mirror, or I'll say it in front of my husband. And I do
You practice reading it out loud, not just in your head.
not in your head, because it sounds different, and that will help you sort through
Your cadence, your rhythm. Yes.
Yes,
your
and then
inflection.
the more you do it, the more you'll be like, oh, I memorized that point.
Yeah.
I also will make like little colored notes on my notes of like, take a pause here, because something that will make you a really great speaker on camera is obviously like using your hands and being vocal, because people get nervous, right? And they're like, and so I want you to go be happily married. Like, that's not going to make you want to be happily married, right? Like flexions with your voice, like stopping. It's okay to leave pauses. People are like, oh, what's she going to say, right?
Yeah.
All of that, and that's also with public speaking in person too, but all of that you can actually practice with your voice and go, oh, I kind of want to raise my voice or show more passion because this is a really important point. Or if it's like a humbling point, you can kind of even show it with your nonverbal on camera, like, wow, like this, like I admitted that I have parent guilt in today's filming. Like I totally have parent guilt because I'm a full-time working mom, used to be a stay-at-home mom. This is new for me. So my demeanor changed, and that really helps the person watching the camera relate to you, connect with you. So you're not just reading a script. There's more behind it.
Yeah. And so last quick fire question. So you usually outline, not script. You don't word for word.
Not word for word, no. Unless if I use a teleprompter, which I rarely do, but like for instance, I did use it for one video today.
Yeah.
And I think for me, what helps me is if there are really important things I don't want to miss, use a teleprompter, but it should be a short video.
Yeah.
No one wants to watch a 20-minute video on a teleprompter.
Right.
And if you're going to use a teleprompter, practice at home.
Yeah.
Because I feel like as I've used it, I've gotten more and more comfortable with it, and I did it in one take today.
Yeah.
Normally, when I started using the teleprompter, it did take me a few takes. Yeah, you have to find, and she's even like said, oh, here's your pace you're usually at. So even having a great videographer to help you say, hey, if you're using your teleprompter, this is your pace, that's super helpful. And like even prepping for that, like sending you the notes before, so you had them, so we weren't dealing with tech issues the day of the shoot. Because all of that makes life really hard. And we even have like some basic lighting, and I know that that's not, everybody has it in their budget, but it just, anything you can do that is going to make film day, that process, seamless, do it. Like we get food delivered the day, like for lunch for all of us. We don't have to think about it. Important. Yes.
So true.
Outfits are already picked out days before. Just all of that stuff. And then I'm just going to say a little like, can I just do like a little pro tip?
Yeah.
If you're a lady, get your makeup done. You don't have to.
So true.
You look great, I'm sure, but
It'll make you feel so much more.
You feel better.
Yeah.
And there is something about the camera reveals the good and the bad and the ugly. Her camera is such great quality. I'm like, could you take off like 10 pounds there? But it is true. I think you feel more confident, and I think too it ages better. Which is why when you're watching movie stars, they're wearing makeup, even if they don't look like they're wearing makeup. And you can do natural makeup, but I think getting someone to say, hey, I'm not just doing it for camera or for like pictures, I'm doing this for film, that's different. Tell them it's on camera work, because it is a different, just a little side note there. Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Meygan, for coming on here and talking about the value of video. I appreciate you. And check out Marriage 365. They have awesome videos that will help you in your marriage. Okay, you gotta let me know. What's your biggest takeaway from Meygan? Let me know in the comments below. Catch you later.